Good afternoon, Dr. Ismail. How are
Oh,
you?
good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. We already have one guest who has signed in. Um, Others will in the next couple of minutes.
Okay,
So I'll just go ahead and mute myself, and my camera will be off. Um,
okay,
and I will just help to add people
okay,
as and when they come.
okay.
You're all set. Do you need anything from my side?
No, I will just, can I share the presentation by PowerPoint? Okay,
Have all the rights.
so am I audible enough?
You are very audible. Yes.
Okay, so I'm sharing the PowerPoint. Yeah. Mm.
I think we will start, we'll give about 5 minutes for
Okay,
people to join. And I
okay,
think 105 is when you can start, I believe.
okay. That, that's Okay. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, doctor. We can hear you. We can see you and we can hear you.
Okay. So good afternoon to you, and I am Dr. Ian Ismail. I am here to present to you a talk about transformational leadership, inspire, innovate, and achieve. First of all, we need to examine what leadership is, because leadership is something very important. So all of us, we are all aware of great companies in the world, transnational company, or you can call them multinational companies. So we are aware of them, and we aspire to either work in those companies, or we have our own companies of the same status, of the same status with these successful companies. So we all know Apple, Google, Microsoft, Samsung, Logitech, and the rest of them. So the question that we need to ask here is, how did they become great? How did they become successful? Because success story is loved by everyone. Failure story is hated by everyone. So how do they become successful? So this is the relevant question we need to ask ourselves. So if we look at them, these companies become successful because of the leadership. Because of the leadership. All this will be explained in the subsequent slides. Let's look at one of the exemplary leaders in the world, Sheikh Zayed. If we look back, we will see that the UAE of today is quite different from UAE of yesterday. Like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, the UAE was like a backwater hamlet, was a desert. Nothing was there. UAE of yesterday was full of huts, small houses in the mid of desert. So how does it become what it becomes today? It becomes what it becomes today because of the leader. So leadership is very important. It's a significant factor. It's a significant predictor of successful organization or organizational success. So what did Sheikh Zayed did to transform the UAE of yesterday to what UAE is today? Number one, conflict resolution was the first step it took in order to transform the UAE of yesterday to today's UAE. One, because a good leader will always strive, will always take step in resolving conflict, because it has been an inevitable scenario. It is inevitable in every gathering that comprises two or more people, there will always be conflict. Conflict is inevitable in a society or in a gathering or in a group containing more than two or more people. So Then in the UAE, there was conflicts among the tribes, among the group of people, group of men. So the first thing the great leader Sheikh Zayed did was to resolve the conflict among this group of people, among these tribes, among the 9 emirates. It was 9 emirates then. He rallied around and tried to have every and each emirate on the same table, on the same level, on the same page. So that's what he first did. And he was able to do this through consultation and mediation. So this is telling you that to become a great leader, to be a good leader, that you need to have a good mastery of consultation and mediation. You should be able to mediate among people. You should be able to resolve conflict among people through mediation or consultation. So that is the first step. The second step was that he met with the people, he gingered them, he let them see how important it is for them to come together and build a vicious and successful country. So then there were 9 emirates. So 7 were able to come together and become what UAE is today. So you can see the power of a leader there. So this is telling you that leadership is very important in our day-to-day life, in everything we are doing. And there will always be, it will always reflect the benefit and the indispensability of leadership in everything we do. It's like leadership is like the scenario of leadership could be similarized with the driver that is driving a car with people inside it. So to reach the destination on time, safely, depends on the driver. Although driver is the one driving the car, but it is not only the leader that will, drive the car to the destination. With the followership, the passenger in the car are also have their own role to play. So how do we go about it? How can the leadership and followership have this be on the same page? So these are part of what we are going to be explaining subsequently. What is leadership? We all know leadership. The simple meaning of leadership is to get things done through others, is to inspire people to achieve an aim, an objective. It could be business objective, it could be social objective, it could be just an objective or an aim. So leadership is a process of engaging people, of making people engage in certain activities for the purpose of achieving certain goals, certain objectives, or certain aims. And leadership is viewed as a competitive advantage. What does this mean? If you look at these great companies we have mentioned earlier on, Apple, Samsung, Logitech, 3M, Microsoft, all these companies become great because of leadership. So they have competitive advantage over their competitors. So let's say the leadership in Apple is exchanged with leadership in its competitors. So the competitor company can become as great as Apple once the leadership is swapped. And even, let's say, Apple, and let's use one just a company that has not, risen up as Apple. Let's say, let's use me. So if they swap the leadership, you will see that the leadership in the, let's say they swap the leadership, the Apple leadership is swapped with me leadership. So you will see that the me company will rise up above the Apple. This is telling you how powerful and how great the leadership is in terms of competitive advantage. That is, leadership gives competitive advantage to companies. Another area is that leadership reflects in all our life, personal life and professional lives. For example, at home, in a family, leadership reflects that. In a home, in a family, if there is no a leader, definitely that home will not be, may crash. There may not be peace in that family. In whatever society we find ourselves, leadership always reflects. So that's why leadership applies to all our life, personal and professional life. So now there is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Leaders. Leadership, is it inborn or made? That is leadership an art or science? The great leaders of today, are they born naturally? The trait of being a good leader, are they inborn? Are they natural? Or someone would need to learn it? So there are a lot of discussions about it, about this. But the summary of this discussion is that it is both. It is both an art and science. It is both inborn and learned. People are gifted, people are endowed with some leadership traits, leadership behaviors, leadership features. Some people are born with that. And also, you can also learn it through training, through universities, colleges, educational institution. You can learn it. So, and the best situation, or the best situation is to have some leadership trait in you and then get trained over it. This will make you a great leader. That is, you have some, characteristics of leadership in you, and then you go to college like GBS to learn about leadership. So this will enhance your leadership trait, leadership behavior, and the charisma you have in you. Coming to an educational institution like GBS will boost, will enhance your leadership characteristic, leadership trait that you have in you. This is telling you that it is not enough to have some leadership traits, some leadership styles in you only. You will need to get training to boost and enhance the such leadership traits. So if you want to do that, and this is encouraged, if you want to do that, then you will need to come to GBS, because GBS specializes in training minds, in training people to become a great leader. So, in summary, leaders are born and made. Leaders are born and made. Leaders are born and made. You can have some leadership characteristics in you, some leadership traits, some leadership charisma in you. So you can sharpen, you can enhance and boost this leadership trait by attending GBS institution to sharpen your leadership trait that will, make you a great leader in the future. So, who is a leader or what is leadership? A leader will inspire a shared vision, create a vision, envision the future, and list others. So this, you can find a perfect example of this in Sheikh Zayed. In like 4 decades ago, 40 years, 30 years ago, the man, the great Sheikh, has vision of making the UAE great. So he inspired that vision into people. He inspired people based on this vision. He make people, he make people share that vision so that they can work together. So a good leader will not have his vision within himself. He will need to, inspire people to share that vision so that the vision can be achieved. So a leader will enable others to act on the shared vision. A leader can never work alone. It will need collaboration. It will need working together with people. It will need to work together with people. That is, a leader is not a lone person. It's not somebody who is always working on his own. He works in collaboration. He works in he work in team. He work with people. He inspire people to work together to achieve the shared vision. A leader will model the way we strategize. We model the way of achieving the shared vision. We set example. We strive for small wins. Okay, let me give you an example. There was a leader. This leader, it happens in more than 1,400 years ago. And this leader is among the most influential people in the world today, according to Michael H. Hart. There was an American, a mathematician, a, a philosopher. He carried out a research on the 100 most influential people in the history of mankind. So this great leader is among them. So what happened then? He was a leader, and there was a time he asked his people to do certain things. And these people didn't, yield. They didn't do it. They do not pay attention. They didn't pay attention to what the leader asked them to do. So the wife of this leader now told him, you are asking people to do something. Don't you know that they will not take it serious until you set example, until you lead people doing the things? Then that leader, the following day, he was the first person to do that thing he has them to do. And then everybody started copying, imitating him. So what I'm saying here is that a leader will set example. A leader will, model the way. We strategize. We put in place plan to achieve the set goals, to achieve the shared vision. So a leader will always encourage people, appreciate people, acknowledge the people contribution, no matter how small that contribution is. So these are the features, these are the qualities of a leader. These are the quality of a leader. So leadership is all about setting a vision, inspire people to share the vision, model the way of achieving the vision, inspire people to work together, strengthen people, collaborate together with people to achieve the set goals, and then acknowledge people, acknowledge the contribution of people towards the achievement of the vision. So that is the meaning of leadership. In short, leadership is a process of making people to share the vision, act on it, and then achieve the shared vision. Now, that is the meaning of leadership. So now, let's talk about transformational leadership. First of all, I want to let you know that there are different styles of leadership. We have many leadership styles. Personally, as somebody who is who is who has some information about leadership, who I prefer transformational leadership. For example, let me talk about transactional. There's one transactional leadership. That leadership has its own pros and cons. Pros and cons. It has its own merit and demerit. But transformational leadership is more of, it has more merit than demerit. Look at transactional leadership. Transactional leadership, adopts reinforcement, adopts what is called rewards and punishment. That is, for example, that is this kind of leadership style is adopted by managers in the companies. So manager, they instill discipline in their subordinate, in their workers, through reward and punishment. So that is the followers, the workers, the subordinate, they respect the rules. They abide by the rules of the company. They respect the manager because they know that if they disobey, if they do not comply with the rules and regulation of the company, or they do not, obey and respect the manager, there is reward and punishment. So employees are not voluntarily compliant. Employees do not obey the rules and regulation. Employees are not working voluntarily for the company. They are doing it because of the rewards and punishment. In this kind of situation, there will be no what is called innovation and creativities, because employees are working because of the punishment and reward. They know that if they do their work, if they do their job properly, they will be rewarded with salary and other incentives. Or if they do not do their work as required of them, as demanded, then there will be punishment, either non-payment of their salary, or reduction of their salary, or even termination. So that is the style of transactional leaders. But this is different from transformational. Transformational leadership does not, force people, does not, make people or force people to do things. Transformational leadership, inspire people to do the job, to work creatively and innovatively. So transformational leadership encourages creativity on the part of the followership. on the part of the workers, on the part of the people. It encourages, it nurtures innovations, because transformational leadership does not rely on using reward and punishment to get things done through people. It uses encouragement, it uses participation, it uses inspiration, to it uses charismatic influences to make people voluntarily work for the company, work for the achievement of the shared vision. So that is the transformational leadership. Transformational leadership inspire others. They encourage people. They encourage others. They encourage people. They, make people believe in the shared vision. So because that is, and that transformational leadership does not require maybe some authority before it can make people, work for the achievement of the shared vision. Only transactional leaders will always rely on the authority to get people work for the achievement of the shared vision. But transformational leaders, they work with people, they encourage people, they inspire people to work for the achievement of the shared vision. The first thing they do is to make sure people share that vision, is to make sure that people believe in that vision. So once they do that, they encourage them, they, influence them, they participate with them to achieve the shared vision. So that's a transformational leader. You can see that it's quite different from transactional leadership. Transformational leaders, they have a hands-on philosophy in terms of encouraging their followers individually, not in performing day-to-day tasks. Transformational leadership entails three important factors: charisma, individual consideration, and intellectual stimulation. So here you can see that transformational leadership is more of participatory leadership or participative leadership. That is, it allows people to participate. It encourages people to participate. It interact with people. The leadership interact with people, inspire people, and then encourage them. It gives consideration to individual members of the group. So that is transformational leadership. Now, I've already explained this. So transactional leadership focuses or adopts reward and punishment to control people, to get people work on the achievement of the vision. Unlike transformational leadership, transformational leadership encourages, inspires people to get work done in the achievement of the vision. So transformational is more preferable. It has more merit compared to transactional leadership. Now, the effect of transformational leadership in an organization, in a company where transformational leadership is adopted, they will have high organizational performance, enhanced in organizational performance. They will have stable culture, learning. The follower will be more committed, that they will have more organizational commitment, that is employee commitment. Employee will be committed to the achievement of the shared vision of the company. There will be low turnover rate. That is the rate at which people will be living, at which people leave the company will be very low. That is, people will stay in the company. They will have talent retainment. People will stay in that organization. They will not love to leave the organization. They will stay there. And then there will be what is called citizenship behavior. That is, the employees will believe and will work for the organization as if it is their own organization. It is their own company. They will work, they will have loyalty for the company. They will do what is called extra role. That is, they will work more and more for the success of the company. So you can see that there are many merits, advantages of leadership, transformational leadership. Effective transformational leaders shift focus from self-interest to collective interest. So they are not selfish. Transformational leaders are never selfish. They believe in the collective interest. They don't have it, they don't have their own personal interest. They have the collective interest. They believe in the collective interest. They believe in the organizational interest. They don't allow their personal interest to affect the collective interest. They always work for the collective interest. Transformational leadership is associated with improved creativity and decision quality. Like I said earlier, transformational leadership is more of participatory leadership. It's more of participative leadership, whereby everybody decision is taken by everybody, not by a single leader. In taking decision, in doing things in achieving the vision, they are all done collectively. That is why when I was, describing transformational leadership, I said they believe in collectivity. They believe in inspiring people to get work done, to achieve the vision. The first thing is to get people share that vision. Once they share that vision, everybody believe that this is our vision all together. This is our aims, this is our goals. So we need to achieve it. So everybody will work together to achieve it. So that is transformational leadership. They inspire creativity in people. They inspire innovation in people, and the decision is always quality. The decision taken is always quality because it is done by the people, not only one person. So to be a transformational leader, there are certain skills you will need. And the main skill you need to possess or acquire is three skills. The first skill, they call it conceptual skill, or you can call it decision-making skill. The second one is interpersonal skills, and the third one is technical skill. But a transformational leader will need conceptual skill or decision-making skill more than others. So the first important skill is decision-making skill or conceptual skill. That is problem-solving skill. So a transformational leader must have the skill with which he or she can, solve the problem, save the situation during the crisis, and so on. So transformational leadership requires more of conceptual skill than other skills. So the next skill is interpersonal skill. They need to be able to work, communicate, and interact peacefully with other members of the company or members of the group. And the next is technical skill. This technical skill, yes, transformational leaders, they need it, but this particular skill, technical skill, is more, is more needed by the lower level managers, like line managers, supervisors, and so on. So in summary, these are the three basic skills that a transformational leader should possess to be able to, to be able to be effective in his leadership. So a transformational leaders can, in order to implement changes or manage changes in the company, these are the four processes involved. So due to our time, we may not be able to explain this especially, but summary, let's say, for example, a new manager, a new director is appointed, so in a company, and if this director embraces transformational leadership, then it can, use these four processes or four steps to introduce transformation in the company. The first thing is to, make a case, is to sell the proposed change to the people. Don't forget one important thing whenever we are talking about transformational leadership, that thing is to carry people along. So transformational leadership is all about, carrying people along, working with people. It's not autocratic. That is why I can say transformational leadership is a democratic leadership style, because it is not autocratic. It is not transactional. Autocratic is a leader will just, give instruction, give directives, give orders. Do this, do this, do this, everybody do this, do this. So it's just giving out instruction. It's just giving out orders. And it doesn't care. You have to do it. But transformational leadership is all about doing things together, collectively. It doesn't it doesn't do things alone. It carries people along. It encourages people. It makes people, it inspires people to do things together. It believes in group work, teamwork. So the first thing a transformational leader who is appointed to lead a company can do is to sell the change to the people. That is to make sure people accept the proposed change. They share the vision of the change he proposes. After that, then he can now, after he has already made a case for a change, he will sell it to them and tell people what they want to achieve, the goals, the objective, the targets, and then lead the people working on how to achieve the set goals. So transformational leadership does not ask people to do things. They do it together. He lead people. He set example. A model way of achieving the set goals. Like the example I mentioned earlier, that there was a leader, one of the great leaders in the world, one of the influential people in the history of mankind. He asked people to do, he has his followers to do something, and they didn't pay attention to that until he set example. He started doing it and people followed him. So the step three is to lead the action. You start the action, you hit the ground running, and the people will follow you. So transformational leadership or transformational leader will always lead, will always hit the ground running, and people will follow. So And that is how the change will be institutionalized. That is how the change will be implemented. So this is how a transformational leader can transform the company in a given situation. So there is one transformative leader that we can also, that represent what we have been saying, and that is Ab Keleha. So he's a former president and CEO and current board member of Southwest Airlines. So you can see there, he inspired his followers to pursue his corporate vision. So that is the meaning of transformational leadership. Inspiring people to share your vision. If everybody accepts your vision, they will work together to achieve the vision. So the first and the primary responsibility or duty of a transformative leader is to ensure that people accept his vision, people share his vision. So, and this has made Southwest Airlines a great company, and this has enhances the competitive advantage of Southwest Airlines over the competitors. So look at the quotation. He valued individuals for themselves and was frequently seen interacting with passengers on Southwest flights. You can see himself interacting with people, interacting with the customers. So this is an exemplary transformative leader. Now, I was able to put together some quotes from leaders. And all these quotes are pointing to carrying along people, collectivity, doing things collectively, working together, teamwork, all these quotes. Okay, let's start with this. Sam Walton, founder of Walmart. This is an hypermarket in the US. So it has branches all over the world. So this founder said in one of his quotes, outstanding leaders go out of their way to boost the self-esteem of their personnel. If people believe in themselves, it is amazing what they can accomplish. Do you know what this is telling us? It's telling us that encouraging people, making people believe in your vision, shared in your vision, encouraging them, acknowledging their contribution, we make them do more. We make them become more creative and more innovative. So this is transformational leadership. This is transformational leadership. So you have to inspire people, encourage them, lead them, set example for them, appreciate their contribution, however small, and this will boost their morale. This will motivate them. This will stimulate creativity and innovation in them. So that is one thing. Another quote is Melinda Gates, the wife of Bill Gates, former wife. So co-chair of the Gates Foundation. She said, if you are successful, it is because somewhere, sometime, someone gave you a life or an idea that started you in the right direction. This is also talking about, working together, interacting with people, making people, getting things done through people. So it's not, this is also talking about, putting together heads, because two heads is better than one head. Two heads is better than one. So if we have two or more people working on a particular vision, on a particular goal, it will be better achieved than having one person to work on the achievement of that set goals. So Melinda is trying to establish the teamwork, the effectiveness of working together, collective work. So that's another one. Another quote is this one, the co-founder of FIAM. He said, if you don't take risk, then your company growth will probably be restricted. Why not do your research and aim for a market with a larger growth opportunity? This is talking about taking risk, because if any business will survive, it needs to take risk, or she needs to take risk. So another one is for Mark Benioff, CEO of Salesforce. He said, my summers at Apple have taught me that the secret to encouraging creativity and producing the best possible product was to keep people fulfilled and happy. You can see. Okay, so just 2 minutes, I will round off. So this is also establishing the collectivity, teamwork, and the rest of it. So there are other quotes that, establish making people work together, teamwork. That is, transformational leadership encourages teamwork, collective work, and so on. So the summary of what I've said so far is that leadership is very important in any organization, in any society. So all the great companies we have today, all the successful nations we have in the world, they are not successful without their leaders. And the best, most suitable leadership style is transformational leader or transformative leaders. So as a result of this, I want to encourage, every leader to adopt transformative leadership style. So thank you for your attention. Is there any question? Any question? So in the absence of question, then we can call it a day. So have a nice day. See you.